beautiful day. I'm honored to be speaking with you on such an important occasion. We are here today to honor our service members and to remember the sacrifices they have made. Even if you are not a Gold Star family member, a battle buddy, friend, or relative of a fallen hero, all you have to do is look around you, and you will see their legacy. It is us, Americans, gathered in a free society, unified with the common purpose of honoring uncommon bravery, with the knowledge that freedom is not free. We are their legacy. Regardless of the place or the war fought, the purity of their sacrifice is without question. Young men and women lost their lives in order to make the freedom of others possible. More than 1 million U.S. heroes had their lives cut short while fighting in wars since the American Revolution. Memorial Day, as Decoration Day gradually came to be known, originally honored only those lost while fighting in the Civil War. But during World War I, the United States found itself embroiled in another major conflict, and the holiday evolved to commemorate American military personnel who died in all wars. Time only permits to tell just a few of their remarkable stories today, but they are representative of many. A century ago, America was engaged in the war to end all wars, World War I. It was there that a brash aviator from Arizona earned a reputation for recklessness. Though he exasperated many of his superior officers, the 21-year-old pilot claimed a remarkable 18 aerial victories over German pilots in just 18 days. Frank Luke's mission usually involved busting observation balloons, which the Germans used to sight artillery. On September 29, 1918, Second Lieutenant Luke shot down 3 balloons as he was being relentlessly pursued by 8 enemy aircraft. Under heavy fire, his own plane went down near the town of Mervaux, France. Surrounded by the enemy on the ground, he drew his automatic pistol and defended himself gallantly until he fell dead from a wound in the chest. Frank Luke was the first pilot to receive the Medal of Honor. A month prior, during that same war, on August 4th, 1918, a young soldier named Sergeant Glenn R. Zilmer, assigned to Company H, 32nd Infantry Division, Wisconsin National Guard, died of wounds sustained in combat also in France. He was only 22 years of age. He was the first soldier from Monroe to die in World War I and was laid to rest here in Greenwood Cemetery. Unfortunately, the Great War was not the war to end all wars, and on December 7, 1941, Seaman Second Class David J. Riley was killed in action while serving on the USS Oklahoma when it was sunk during the attack on Pearl Harbor. He was 23 years of age and buried at sea. You may recognize the names of Sergeant Zilmer and Seaman Second Class Riley, because on February 17, 1947, the Monroe American Legion Post was rechartered the Zilmer Riley Post number 84 to honor these 2 fallen heroes. Fast forward 50 years to another continent with yet another determined group of young American heroes. Sharon Lane was committed to caring for these heroes and entered the Army Nurse Corps in 1968. A year later, the 25-year-old from North Industry, Ohio, was working hard at the 312th Evacuation Hospital in Chu Lai, South Vietnam. Women were exempted from the draft. First Lieutenant Lane was a volunteer, and she was where she wanted to be, and that happened to be with wounded soldiers. Our nation observed Vietnam War Veterans Day on March 29th. There was no Wikipedia page for Lieutenant Lane. She did not have the medals of Audie Murphy or the famous Sergeant Alvin York, yet she was just as much of a hero. Rocket and mortar attacks were common at her base. In a letter home, she wrote of one attack, "We got all the patients under the beds that we could and put mattresses over the ones in traction. Very interesting place, but hardly anyone here is scared. It's just like part of the job." On June 8, 1969, First Lieutenant Sharon Lane made the ultimate sacrifice after a 122-millimeter rocket blasted through her ward, killing her and a 12-year-old Vietnamese girl. Sharon Lane was the only female nurse killed by enemy fire during the Vietnam War. The heroes that we remember today are not exclusive to any gender, race, or religion. They are a diverse group wedded to a common principle that America is a nation worth dying for. However, not all of these heroes died because of enemy gunfire. Military service sometimes requires dangerous risk, even when its members are far from a combat zone. Certainly the 4 Marines who entered a CH-53 Echo Super Stallion last month during a training exercise in Southern California did not expect it to be their final mission, yet it was. On April 3rd, 2018, 4 young men, all in their 20s and 30s, died for our nation as a result of a helicopter crash. The youngest, 24-year-old Lance Corporal Taylor Conrad of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, became a first-time father in October. The longest-serving Marine of the group, Gunnery Sergeant Richard Holliday, had completed 2 tours in Iraq. Captain Samuel Schultz previously deployed with the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit. His fellow pilot, First Lieutenant Samuel Phillips, was from Pinehurst, North Carolina, and joined the Marine Corps in August 2013. It's the hardest part of being Marine is the tragic loss of life of a fellow brother in arms, said their commanding officer, Colonel Craig LaFleur. These warhorse Marines brought joy and laughter to so many around them. They each served honorably, wore the uniform proudly, and were a perfect example of what makes our Marine Corps great, its people. They will forever be in our hearts and minds. And they will forever be in our hearts and minds as well. Not just these Marines, but all soldiers, sailors, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, and Marines who've made the ultimate sacrifice to our nation. We also want to extend our gratitude and support for a group that nobody wants to join, but has already given so much for their country, the Gold Star families. As we observe Memorial Day every year, these families remember their fallen loved ones every day. Children without parents, Gold Star mothers and fathers, spouses and siblings, they can still hear the voices of those that they lost. And it is up to us to hear the voices of these families, offer our support, and express our highest gratitude. Whether the people we remember served in World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, or the war on terrorism, or any place or time in between, we say thank you for the freedom you have given us. We are here because of you. So let us share their story. Then, like the poet, we all can say, sleep, soldiers, still in honored rest, your truth and valor wearing. The bravest are the tenderest, the loving are the daring. God bless you all, God bless America, and God bless our fallen heroes. Thank you very much.